Does it really?
It just
Make
looks
sure we look
incredible.
freaking slim.
You know we had catfish in here, right? They filmed. They rented the whole restaurant.
So now we got to top that. We're not going to.
We are with Kayla.
With Kayla,
We're topping with Kayla. You kidding me? Man, that's future champ.
I mean, that's true. Emilio, thank you for having us.
Of course, thank you.
Very cool, unique place. Kayla did say it was going to be a really cool experience.
Yeah.
And from the moment you walk in, it's beautiful and elegant.
Thank you.
What was the idea behind this? Was it your idea or your wife's idea?
Neither. I gotta be honest with you. We bought the business like 3.5 years ago. It was just the front half that you first see. So it's a little bit more antique-y. That's kind of the original aesthetic is antique. Vintage, refurbished furniture. She sold a few teas, some vegan bakery items, but she didn't really have it wasn't a restaurant. It was more of a cafe.
Okay.
You know, just like a vegan-centric cafe in a really beautiful space. So she came up with the name and that original concept. We've scaled it and added kind of this Victorian, elegant element to it in terms of aesthetics, and then bolstered the food menu to make it a restaurant. So we've become, what we've created, it was pretty much the whole food menu, the restaurant portion, the coffee shop. When we bought it, it was like a little residential pod machine. You had to put a pod in if you wanted an espresso, like a latte. So people would come in and say, hey, what kind of coffee do you have? Is it locally roasted? And I'd be like, it's Illy pods. And I kind of felt guilty. I felt embarrassed to say that, you know. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, we need to make this in a coffee shop. So that was the first big change we made was we turned it into a coffee shop. And I thought that was the direction it was going to go. I thought we were going to kind of keep the food program really condensed, concentrated, focused, niche, and just build a coffee shop brand. But as time went on and COVID, everyone kept wanting our food. We had a couple of avocado toasts, and people were like, this is the best thing I've ever had. And all these reviews, so we added a couple more. We're like, all right, let's test the waters a little bit more. And now food makes up like 53% of our sales. So
that's awesome.
We've become a restaurant.
That's nice.
And now we're growing. We're opening a bigger space in this plaza. That's a full restaurant. Open day and night, like European-style cafe, rosé menu, champagne flights, speakeasy at night, Sinatra playing, low lights, candlelight, tapas, coffee shop during the day, full cafe brand.
Very cool. So this is my first time here, Dan's first time. What do you recommend us as far as food options?
Everything's good, but what we're known for are the avocado toasts.
That's what we're going to get.
Avocado toast, yeah. I know Kayla loves the Phoenician avocado toast, which is avocado with chopped organic multicolored cherry tomatoes, balsamic glaze, a bunch of different like herbs and seasonings, our little secret sauce, you know, like 17 herbs and spices, prosciutto di Parma on top, Tuscan style bread, like almost sourdough style bread. It's delicious. It's good. It's filling. It's fresh. You feel good after you eat it. We don't really gouge you on the prices. You know, it's pretty much somewhere you can come every day and eat.
What's a good drink to match that with, to pair that with?
You like coffee or tea?
Dan, what do you like?
Probably go tea today.
Tea?
I'll do coffee.
Both? All right, cool. I'm actually, for the tea guy, I'm going to bring 2 different teas. Maybe 3. I'm going to hook it up. We have one called the Dragon Tea. It's an all-organic. It's our best-selling drink. It's an all-organic white tea lemonade refresher. It's got mango, hibiscus, orange, apple, white tea. We steep it. We mix it with organic pitaya, dragon fruit powder, and we top it with a little bit of organic lemonade. So it's this refresher. It comes out hot pink. It's our best-selling drink. When that kind of took off, I made the Blue Maui as like a brother drink to that. So it's like the brother and sister drinks. So this one comes out like deep blue. It's a lemongrass, ginger, pineapple, green tea refresher. No lemonade in that one. That's my favorite personally. So I do that unsweet. That's like my drink. And then for a hot drink, I'm going to bring you guys a caramel creme brulee. So it's an organic caramel-infused rooibos tea, caramel syrup, a caramel almond foam, and then we sprinkle raw sugar on top and brulee the top. So it's a really cool drink to get hot. All kinds of fun stuff that you don't really see anywhere else.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you guys like a flight of all different drinks and you're going to have fun.
You going to share your tea with me? 2 straws?
One straw, no?
No straws.
Nice. Emilio, thank you for having us.
Yeah, man.
We're going to get some cool footage in here.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And thanks for bringing Kayla. That's a future champ right here. You
have the voice for it. Do it.
All right, welcome to episode 3 of Backbreakers and Bites. Shit, how do you say your last name? Hracho? Rocco?
Yeah.
See, I was already gonna mess that up.
Leave this in here. Leave this in.
You just say Kayrock. It's easier.
Because someone said, welcome Kayla, Hracho, and then, so it's Rocco.
Rocco.
Well, it actually makes the name make sense now.
Yeah.
Kayrock, because I was like, where'd that come from?
I know nobody ever gets that.
And nobody asks either.
Where did that come
They
from?
think I'm like saying that I rock. Nah, Kayrock. Kayla Rocco.
Oh, that's
Oh, I thought it was, because she self-proclaimed, like, I'm the
Yeah,
coolest.
oh.
All right, so we're here today with Kayla Hracho at the Modern Rose Cafe. See, now I fucked up.
Shout out to
Made me do the
Emilio.
intro and I fucked up.
You guys are worried about me being too like.
No, we're too unprofessional. You see what just happened? No, it's perfect. We're gonna leave it.
I fucked up the whole time with Jay at the barbecue boutique. The second I looked at that camera, I forgot my name. And he's like, "You're good, just go."
I'm like, I'll do it.
But see, now we're all messed up. We're actually getting good flow, but then we're messing up. All right, but we're here with Kayla Hracho, and we're at the Modern Rose Cafe. As you can see, we've got all kinds of artsy food, teas, coffees. Kayla, you want to give us a rundown of who you are and why you chose this place?
Whew. So I'm Kayla Rocco. Like you guys said, I am a combate global fighter, Atomweight, and I chose Modern Rose because, first of all, it's like my favorite place in the world. I'd probably live here if I could. But look at this fantastic food. The energy in here is amazing. The staff is amazing. They make everything with love. Everything tastes fantastic. The coffees, love the energy in here, love the vibe. It's beautiful. So seriously, it's one of my favorite places ever. You can't go wrong here.
All right, what do you want to take a bite of here first?
Here, that's fast.
There's a whole lot going on here. We got some toast, some pizza.
Don't be shy now, Kayla.
Never.
Nah, and don't forget
Not
to
when
stuff your
food's
mouth
around.
when you ask a question.
I know, you guys are gonna like wait to ask me a question when I got a
wait a
big
minute.
bite of food in my mouth, aren't you?
That's his job, but
Are you ready?
Ready for what?
ASMR.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I've heard that a lot lately.
That means-
ASMR.
It's when people make the sounds and people get turned on by it, like listening to it. Don't worry, Mo and Tiago did it too, so it's not weird.
So the phone's gonna come like this close to your face.
You mean like what? I'm so upset that I asked.
No, it's not literally ASMR. We're just joking. It's for the
Okay.
reels.
So what do you want to
Okay.
try?
Everything. What do you mean?
All right, go.
All right, let me get this fork. I really want to try that. And that. And that. That's my favorite, but I've had it like 10 times already,
This
so
one?
This one
I'm
right
going to
here?
let you guys try some of
Avocado,
that.
please?
I'm looking right at the
Oh, is
pizza
this
right
cut
now. I'm not
already?
gonna lie.
Is it?
Let's see if we can like... Don't judge the way I cut things. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for not teaching me how to properly use a fork and a knife.
I mean, I don't think there is a proper way, to be honest with you.
I think there is.
It's very
just-
graceful.
I don't know what it is. Is it spicy?
Is it?
Is it? Oh, shoot.
I can't have that.
I can't
I
either.
can't have it.
I'm gonna eat it anyway.
Do it.
Is it like really, really spicy?
Yeah, it's got corn and stuff on it. It kind of looks Mexican.
Like a elote.
Elote.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Spicy?
Not really. It's got a little kick.
Yeah, you say that, but dude, try it.
Now, I'm gringa to the T. Like, I can't do spicy. All right, it's a little spicy. Just a little bit. Is that ASMR when I'm like...
Yes.
Actually, that's literally exactly what it is. Just do yourself a reverse favor, and when you go home, just YouTube ASMR.
No.
There'll be like people cleaning their kitchen. Just the sounds of like the broom.
Is it really spicy?
Yo, I worked so hard.
I know. I thought you were gonna catch that.
Yeah,
Here,
for real, man.
take
Let's
it
see. Let's
No.
see your art form. Come on.
No, seriously, it's so good. Please try this. I don't even like spice. It's fantastic.
Do I gotta embarrass myself now?
I know. Let's
Oh,
see the
wow.
way you cut.
I too am very white and was never taught.
Oh, it's fantastic, right?
That's
He's
pretty
over
good.
here with something in his beard.
Already?
First bite.
Let's edit that out.
He is gonna be very upset afterwards. Did she really have to call me out?
I mean, you'd rather me tell you than
No,
not
Is
tell
this
you,
your
right?
water?
I don't know. I won't be
I
drinking
drank,
water.
I drank out of everything. I'm just kidding.
That's just what you do.
It's like Amelia, it's almost like a elote, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Exactly what it is.
How good
Yeah,
is that?
That's
It's
amazing.
got a little spice to it. Careful.
I tried it already. It's
How
fantastic.
good is that tea?
And we have 4 waters here.
You
So.
wanna share the straw?
No, drink out of it.
I'm like, you guys are going too slow for my liking.
Just start attacking stuff.
Okay.
Dude, just do it.
I mean, 90% of this is just to get some of your personality, so you do you.
Okay. I'm in.
If you just want to grab it and not even cut it, you know.
I mean, that's what I would normally do, but it gets a little bit messy.
Oh.
All right. You know what?
Let me hop in over here. Is this
The
already
boss is calling me out. And I
I'm
thought we
going
were
on
um,
like
this.
sharing too.
cut? What, you want to do like a Lady and the Hound and?
This is so simple and so delicious.
Dude, hold on. Go take a bite.
No one wants to hear ASMR of me, dude.
What's that? What's that pizza? Well,
You guys
What-
like chicken bacon ranch?
Yeah.
is that what it is?
That is what
That's
it is.
what it
straight
looks
up.
like.
That's what it looks like, and that's what it is.
It looks delicious.
This is the avocado bacon egg.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Chicken bacon ranch flatbread, the marsha, which is smoked turkey breast, roasted red peppers,
Ah,
brie, pesto, ciabatta, French cheese bruschetta, and herb cheese.
I'm gonna cry.
Honestly, this surprises me a lot because when we come to a cafe, I'm expecting like pastries.
Yeah.
Like ramen.
Yeah, this is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dude,
this
this is good.
Yeah, this is way.
Or I feel like I feel like their food's just not that good. Like, you know, they put more emphasis on their coffee.
Yeah.
Like, they have great coffee, but their food is like...
I was thinking about the roast. It's like literally a coffee shop, a tea house, and a restaurant in one setting.
100%. Yeah, no. You can't go wrong here.
Amelia, this is really good.
There you go.
This is very, very good.
Come on, guys. I got good taste.
This right here is probably like #1 right now.
This is delicious.
This?
No, this right here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's-
fantastic.
Is this cut?
That sounds like it's spicy.
Oh, that's hard to cut.
No, I said this is the best.
To make an egg sandwich with that. So it's like that bread, all that you have, but also inside of that egg, 2 different cheeses, basil. It's like this big. It's a monster.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Let's not even speak. Let's just eat.
Well, that was happening for a minute.
Yeah.
The best part is she's eating her regular and she's still going off.
Are you stealing things from me? Where'd my napkin go?
All right, Kay.
You guys should try this, because it's one of my favorites.
So,
I did bite out of it, but...
how you get started? This journey of yours, how did you start it?
Okay, so... Wow, we're going there. I started with boxing.
Wait a minute. Before that.
Before that, you
Field
went-
hockey.
Oh,
Field hockey, rugby, we know you were kind of athletic. Like, you play cricket too or something? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I always played sports growing up. Basketball, softball, field hockey. I pretty much, like, lived at the park across the street. I was a tomboy, you know? I was, like, one of the girls that would, like, play basketball all day with the guys and, like, try to beat the guys. Not much has changed. But, yeah, so definitely always an athlete growing up. I played a little bit of rugby in college. That was fun. Basically like a game of kill. Yeah, it was a good time. And then, yeah, I kind of stumbled upon a boxing gym, like, randomly, and it changed my life. I was 23 years old, which is obviously, like, older than normal, you know?
I think that's a kind of normal age.
Is it? Yeah.
Everyone always thinks they're too old when they start.
I
but
guess. No, that's true. That's a good point. I think, like, when I started, I didn't really have any expectations. Like, it was a challenge. It was a mental challenge and a physical challenge, and I wanted to be good. And I knew if I was going to be good, that I had to show up every single day and just work hard and commit myself to it. I remember being so motivated by, like, I would see like 9-year-olds shadow boxing and like super slick and like crazy talented, and I was motivated by these young guys just because they were so talented, and I was like, I want to move like him, you know, I want to punch like him. So yeah, I just showed up every single day and somehow ended up here.
So when you went into that boxing gym, was it just for just a workout, or was it just you just going to just learning how to box? Did you have any idea that you wanted to be a boxer?
I mean, when I walked into the gym, like, to be honest, I didn't really know anything about fighting. Like, I remember I was there for a few weeks or a few months, and I took it pretty seriously. Like, I'm a hard worker, so I would go in and, like, I remember for my first 2 weeks, I was just standing on a line, and he wanted me to, like, jab on the line, like, to learn how to jab, and I did that for 2 weeks straight, and I did it, like, the best I could, you know what I mean, even if it was for, like, an hour straight. So I was kind of, like, committed from the start, but I also didn't know anything about it. I remember, like I said, after 2 weeks of training, one of the coaches was like, so, you know, what's your goal with this? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to turn pro one day? And I was like, turn pro? Like, what do you mean? Like, I can be a pro? You know, so I was just so oblivious. I think I loved it, and I wanted to be good at it, and, you know, I did have interest in competing, but I didn't really know anything. You know, it took time for me to get there.
Did you become a like boxing fan once you started boxing? Like, did you follow boxing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because one of my questions to you would be, before we get to all the coming down here and the ATT stuff, up where you came from, and I know you were going to go to New York and train a little bit, that is like a hotbed.
Yeah.
That's
Reading,
where, like,
yeah.
a lot of the greats come from up there, and especially in Pennsylvania, you guys got, like, the culture.
For sure.
Like, any boxer that comes out of there, those guys, they'll die for you.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever wonder, like, what would have been, like, if you had stayed in New York and kept training boxing? Because, I mean, female boxers, it feels like it's kind of, it's not as booming as MMA, but there are a couple girls that have, like, really big names. I mean, you ever think about it?
I do, for sure.
That's a good question.
No, I like that you mentioned that, because like I said, I was so oblivious to the game, and like I was oblivious as to how good my coaches were. Like, I was blessed to be taught from like some really legendary coaches. You know, when I first started out, like Marshall Kaufman, who's the owner of King's Promotions.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a legend in the sport. He trained guys like Kermit Cintron, his son, like, to world titles. So, and I started actually working for him as well. So I was just, I mean, I was oblivious with like how lucky I was to train with the highest of the high level, you know? And I think I credit that to like my ability to grow so quickly. Like, I remember I came to ATT, I had only been boxing for 2 years, but people were looking at me like, damn, like, that girl can box. Like, she's one of the best boxers in here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
what?
you had a really good record too.
In boxing, you mean?
Yeah.
I guess.
And
I don't even
MMA,
remember.
what are you talking about?
Dude, so looking into the record of the MMA record, I had no idea there was an Atomweight class. So those losses, it was you on short notice, a week out, a few of them, to a higher weight class, the strawweight or the flyweight. So I know those pounds make a big difference.
For sure. I mean, yeah, it's no secret that like my record isn't pretty, and
It's getting pretty.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard sometimes not to talk about, but I think it's hard just because I never really imagined I would be in that position. Like, I never imagined I would start my pro career off 1-2, and have I had some really devastating losses too. You know, some of them unlucky. Like, I remember my second pro fight, I flew to Panama and fought this Venezuelan girl. I was 1-0. She was 4-0 with 4 finishes. and we fought on like a slip and slide. Like, it was the
geez.
worst night of my life, like worst experience of my
Just
life.
like bad canvas.
I mean, I couldn't do it. Yeah, it was outside in the heat.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even throw a jab without falling down. And that was my second pro fight against a really good girl. So, yeah, I mean, I had some devastating experiences in my pro career, but I mean, it's made me stronger. Like, honestly, it sounds cliche, but like, it took so much strength to pick my ass up off the floor and show up to the gym every single day and continue to grind and believe that, you know, I had to continue to believe in myself too, you know, believe that I could turn my career around and make something of it.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Like, how do you, like, I never asked Mo or Tiago, like, when it came to, like, a loss, like, how do they recover from it? Because I know it's a lot of mental stuff to it. Like, how do you come back from the loss, I guess, mentally?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, for me, honestly, like, my belief in God is what gets me through hard times. Like, if I didn't have that belief, I don't think I would be able to. I would have quit a long time ago, honestly. But aside from that, I mean, it's not easy. It's picking yourself up and just, I think the biggest thing is showing up, right? Like,
That's good.
Is just showing up, no matter how bad you feel, no matter how embarrassed you are, like picking yourself up and just going to the gym and showing up. And that's what I did for years, you know, shut my mouth, put my head down and just worked. And I didn't care. Like, I didn't care. I mean, I cared, but like, I just continued to work, continued to grind, and truly felt like, you know, it's not my time now, but it will be.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Good.
That's it. That's the secret answer.
Good. We got the sad stuff out of the way.
Is that what you said? You wouldn't make me.
Did you cry a little bit or no?
No, I'm sweating.
He went
though.
right for it, I swear. Like, come on, man.
I thought you.
Nah, there's a lot worse than that.
We'll get there. We'll get
I
there.
mean, yeah. I did share a lot, man. I've been through a lot in the sport for sure.
Well, let's go back to like the beginning. I know you got a comment from Dean Thomas. You weren't interested in MMA at the time. You were real into the boxing. What was his comment? I know
think
he
said,
gave you props, but I forgot what you said.
He said she's proper.
Yeah, there you go. That was it.
Like, who says that?
and then what? You had a friend that was into MMA that kind of pushed you.
Yeah, man, you really did your research.
That's what I do.
No, so just a tiny bit of backstory. Like, what makes this even more crazy is that, like you said, I was boxing, and I was 4 days away from moving to New York City to continue boxing. I was still amateur, but I like found some Vietnamese family who was gonna rent a room out of their house for $450 in Brooklyn, and like, I don't even know how I found this place. I have no idea, but like, I literally had my car packed up and was ready to move to New York, and that comment, she's proper, on this video of me hitting pads or whatever, I mean, it that's all it took.
Dang, so that was a fork in the road that I was just going to Florida.
So how was it reaching out to him? What was his initial reaction and everything?
So I remember I was in Walmart and I called my friend, like you said, his name's Pete Garcia. He was a guy that I kind of trained in boxing with, but he's a guy that always told me, like, you should be doing MMA. Like, I guarantee you go do MMA. Like, you'll be in the UFC in 3 years, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think he just saw it as, like, that's where the opportunity for women is, to make money and to kind of be mainstream. So he always told me that. So he's the first person I called. I'm in Walmart, like, getting some last minute things for my move. And he's like, well, you have to reach out to him. Like, you have to. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to say? Like, I don't know how to do MMA. I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't even know if I want to. And I'm about to move. Like, I literally said that to him on the phone, and he was like, no, you have to. Like, you have to. He said, I will never forgive you if you don't say anything.
It's a good friend.
No, for sure. So I did. I said something. I basically, like, sold myself as a fighter, and I said, you know, I'll do anything to reach my highest potential as a fighter. And I know that if I come to ATT and I train with you, like, no doubt that'll happen. And, you know, we talked back and forth for a little bit, but after a short time, he was like, all right, so when do you want to come visit? And I was like, I'll be there in 2 weeks. So I put my New York trip on hold, took the like $200 I had left in my bank account, and came to ATT to visit for a week.
So were they hooking you up? Because I know a lot of the fighters, they got dorms in there now.
No, I was not hooked up.
Oh,
nah.
man.
I mean, I was staying at...
How'd you manage that on $200?
I have no idea, to be honest. Obviously, maybe I had a little bit more than $200, just enough to get a hotel room. And I would say my parents helped me, but for sure they didn't, because my parents thought that I was going to a boxing gym. Like, they were so completely against MMA.
Oh, wow.
Like, never wanted me to get in a cage.
They were cool with you getting punched in the face, but not doing MMA?
No, they weren't even cool with boxing. They weren't cool with any of it. But, like, MMA was kind of next level violent. And it was for me, too, to be honest. Like, I remember watching MMA fights being like, I could never do that. Like, that it's too raw for me. Yeah.
You didn't sit through and be like, I could beat the shit out of her. I could do that.
I mean, I became a fan because I would watch girls like Joanna and like Tecia Torres. Definitely Joanna, like she was like my favorite fighter. I remember watching her. She just had that like scowl on her face, and she was mean. She was a mean girl, and she was so violent. But yeah, it was something that I never saw myself doing. Crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
How did you convince your parents to be supportive, or they came around?
Yeah, so I lied to them. I told them.
That always works.
I told them that I was going, because they wouldn't, like, I was an adult, but I feel like they would have tried to, stop me from going. So I told them I was going to visit, like, this huge boxing gym, and they believed me, until, like...
It's kind of true.
Kind of, right?
To a degree.
And I was just visiting, right? Like,
It was a white lie.
Kind of, yeah. Until they called me. Like, they obviously did some research then, and they were like... This is an MMA gym, isn't it? And I was like, oh, sorry.
So what was it with them that they didn't want you to do the MMA?
Yeah, I think just they thought it was
the idea of
yeah, I mean,
human cockfighting.
Yeah, just kind of barbaric, right? Like, and even boxing to them, like I had to really kind of convince them to get on board with that, and they didn't. I mean, my parents are amazing, so we'll support anything that I do. But no, like they weren't happy when I was 23 years old. Didn't go back to school and like wanted to fight. Like they were like, she's crazy. But they came around because I think that over time they saw that I was committed. They saw that, it changed me as a person. Like I went from partying every weekend and being a knucklehead to like, wow, she really, like she's passionate about this. She's disciplined, she's changing her life. So they came around because of that.
So you did go to school for a psychology degree.
Did.
And I know, you just mentioned it, that you partied a lot.
I did.
I know me as like a business major, it was almost like you went to school just to go to school, got the partying out of the way, and you picked a degree. Yeah. Is that what happened, or did you have like a passion for psychology beforehand?
Wow, I gotta like rewind. I'm kind of old. I partied way too much in college. Like I failed out of my first year of college.
Oh my goodness.
And it wasn't because like I was dumb. I was just irresponsible. Like just didn't care, right? Like I just didn't care, and I was irresponsible, and I was partying and spending my parents' money and just not going to class. So I failed out of my first year of school. I ended up getting back in, and I ended up finishing. Like I finished with a pretty, decent GPA. But I don't know, that question about psychology, I'm not really sure where that came from. I switched my major a few times. I started in sport management, like most athletes do. I did switch to communications. I thought like, oh, maybe I want to be a sports reporter or something. But yeah, then I ended up going into psychology, and I'm glad that I did.
So I know you're into like charity work, and now you're pursuing your master's. So it's a huge passion now. Was there anything that like kind of pushed you in that direction?
I think that after college, I started working in the field to get experience, and I was working with kids with severe mental and behavioral disorders. And it's funny because before that, like, I didn't really like kids, never saw myself working with them. But I kind of took this opportunity and was like, hey, let's just try it out. And I ended up loving it. I spent like a whole summer in New Hampshire, like literally chasing kids around, like, you know, reprimanding them. Like, I was like a parent to like 100 kids at the same time, like in the middle of nowhere in the woods on a summer, you know, so it was crazy. But that experience, like, I loved it. And I was kind of surprised how much I was able to relate with the kids. Like, I feel like I was able to earn their respect because I treated them like normal people, you know, not like they were worthless or like they were children or they were stupid. So I felt like I was able to earn their respect while still, you know, keeping things fresh and light. So that really changed my perspective a lot.
What was the most challenging part of that? I know it comes with the children.
Yeah.
But I know you have a lot of good memories, but anything that you remember that stands out, where you're like, shit, I'm probably gonna go.
I mean, I worked at a few different places that were all really different. This one job I had, my title was the head crisis interventionist. So I worked in like a partial school, partial hospital, which is kind of like an alternative school, but also for kids who need some extra help. And I kind of worked in like the timeout. So I was basically like security in a sense, like a security guard. And that job was honestly like almost impossible. Like, I'd be in there, there'd be like 10 kids in there. You know, some of them struggling a lot, like some of them getting violent, some crying, some pissing on the floor, and like having to manage all of these kids while there's crisis going on in a different classroom that I have to attend to, or so that was challenging. But I loved it. Like, something's wrong with me. I loved it.
No, that's good. That's what being a parent is.
You need those people,
I guess.
That's what being a parent is.
Yeah, and kind of being a fighter too. Like, I felt like I was like in a fight. You know, I had to delegate. I had to make decisions fast. I had to figure things out. Problem solve.
That's a good. It's a question a lot of people ask. You versus 500 kids. So you went back to school now because you got a passion for it. Is that the backup plan? Is it something that you want to do more than fighting? I mean,
that's a good question. I wouldn't say a backup plan. I think more so like a plan for the future.
Yeah.
It's hard though because like I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, who knows? Like, anything can happen. I could get injured tomorrow and never be able to fight again. But I think, like, honestly, when I started my pro career and it wasn't like necessarily going the way I thought it would be, I did kind of feel like I needed to set myself up for the future. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know, it motivated me to kind of start branching out and thinking about doing other things. Like, for a while, I put every single thought, effort into just fighting. Like, I only considered myself a fighter, and it wasn't really working out for me. Like, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to, you know, be great and be undefeated and make it to the UFC. So when things like didn't really work out that fast or that easy, I was like, okay, I need to kind of sit back and look at the bigger picture a little bit more. But I love both. They're both my passions.
I mean, that's a good place to be, and you can go pro, and then later on when you retire, now you're set.
I mean, honestly, like, I want to fight for as long as I possibly can. So, you know, I plan to do both for a long time.
I feel like that's a good combination too. Like, I've met a couple like jiu-jitsu black belts that like were becoming doctors while they were training.
Oh, that's so cool.
And these dudes are like technicians.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you're in school, you're like a student of education, but then you're also like a student of the martial arts. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, when you're firing your brain that way to like really absorb knowledge and study, it feels like sometimes it reflects. Like, do you feel like?
No, that's a really good way to put it. And yeah, I agree with you. I think just having kind of a balance, I think it's served me really well. And I've also had to be like better with managing my time. You know, I can't just think about fighting now. Like, I have to spar and then go give a presentation or go write a 15-page research paper. So
I remember that.
it's hard. Like, it's definitely really hard. It's not easy, especially like in fight camp. But it sort of helped me to have a little bit more balance in my mind, in my life. Yeah.
I want to go back real quick, and I've never asked this question. Like, when you had the opportunity to fight someone on such short notice, like a week prior, the thought behind that, is it, let me just get my name out there, let me see if I could just beat them, or I need money, I gotta get paid? Is that all included to?
I mean, I'm not sure which fight you're referring to. I feel like
All of them.
Like my very first MMA fight, an amateur fight, like I took it on a week notice. I fought in South Africa for 6 weeks, and it was a tournament. It was kind of like a tough tournament, but for a different promotion in South Africa. And when I got there, I found out that it was at 132 pounds. So not only was I fighting professionals, I was fighting like people who were already pro while I was an amateur, but you know, I was fighting at 115 at that time, and these were, you know,
and these guys cut down all the way.
Yeah, they were like 150 in the cage. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily the smartest. Like, I feel like a lot of fighters kind of take a safer approach where they build their records up, and I mean, that's kind of the way that you're supposed to do it, right? Is build your record up, like, be smart.
Honestly, I would have done your route.
I think that's a boxing mentality too, though. In MMA, I think all the records are kind of ugly.
Yeah.
Like in boxing, they're like, all right, I think you can really beat this person,
Mm-hmm.
beat him, and then beat 30 other people
For
like
sure,
them,
yeah.
and then go pro.
Yeah, I think that mentality kind of shifted over into MMA a little bit,
A
though.
little.
I think
we
because
don't got
like,
a lot of those though.
especially like because of the Contender Series, like I think people, like it's kind of not easy, but it's like kind of easy to get that opportunity. So like, especially as a female, man, like all you have to do is be 4-0 and you're getting on the Contender Series, and you can literally fight people who have never won a fight before, and you'll still got that. You know what I mean? Like you could fight straight up bums, you'll still get that opportunity.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too. You gotta show out. Like if you do a spectacular knockout, UFC.
That's true. Yeah, no, for sure.
But you are right. That is a good point. You would have to be 4-0 just to be on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't really think I took the smart route, but I'm glad that I did. Like, I think, I mean, adversity builds character. Like, it really does. It builds character, and, you know, I think I'm a better fighter for it. Like that girl that I was telling you that I fought in my second fight.
The Venezuelan girl?
Yeah, she was just she was undefeated in the UFC until just a few fights ago when she fought my friend
What were we talking
Gillian
about?
Robertson. Her name's Piera Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
Like she was like 9-0 in the UFC. Like I fought her in my second fight in her home country, you know, like.
Speaking of Gillian, I was gonna ask you about that.
For sure.
Which shout out, she's on Joe Rogan today.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's
so
crazy.
Cool.
You still tight with her? Or?
Yeah, Jillian and I, you know, she'll always be a good friend of mine. We don't really hang out. She lives in Miami now because she trains at Goat Shed.
Right.
We're obviously both so busy. You know, she's in camp again. But after her last fight, we did talk about getting together to celebrate. And then she got a new fight. So, yeah, we definitely keep in touch and always support each other. Yeah, she's my girl.
That had to be like a really cool training combo though, because you bring the
sure.
striking and her jiu-jitsu's like, she's doing stuff no other women were doing.
Oh, for sure.
Like these submissions, she's like a Ben Saunders if I was gonna compare her to
Yeah.
someone.
I think people forget, like when I came to ATT, I knew nothing. Like I had a couple years of boxing experience. I knew nothing about jiu-jitsu. Like I didn't know how to shrimp. Like I could barely get through the warm-ups. Like I didn't know an armbar, never saw jiu-jitsu in my life. So I was really, really starting from square one. And I was starting at the best MMA gym in the world. So I think people kind of underestimate like how challenging, how difficult that is. But Gillian was one of my very first training partners. We drilled all the time. She beat my ass for a good like 3 years straight. But I learned so much from her. And Gillian's a gangster. Like, a lot of people don't realize this about her, but that girl she will go against anyone. She makes no excuses. She trains super hard. Not just hard, but she is so disciplined. Like, that girl's not afraid to do the work. She is for real a gangster. So I'm happy to, like, have been able to learn from someone like that so early in my career, because she kind of showed me, like, how things should be done.
And then you guys are going to have, like, the bad blood when you get to the UFC. And she's
Yeah, right?
There is no atomweight division in the UFC, though. So, I mean, what are your goals? I know you got, like, one fight left with Combate. And then...
I'm like, how you know that?
We actually...
Making phone calls on the side.
We don't want to tell you.
What?
We have a pretty good source.
But, I mean, you did Invicta already, right? Mm-mm. No? I mean, what would you want to do next? I mean, I know you mentioned UFC, but being that there's no atomweight, I mean, would you want to do like an Invicta or a 1FC and then kind of maybe wait for the atomweight division?
No, I mean, that's a good question. It's a hard question to answer. I mean, I wish I could tell you about, my next opportunity with Combate. I can't quite yet because it's on the low, but I do have
championship fight.
Well, I do have some really exciting news.
Is that true?
Hopefully coming up with Combate. Can't announce yet, so stop it because they'll yell at me.
I think if we push a little more.
I can't. I won't crack. But I mean, after that, I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of stopped like planning too much for the future. Like, I definitely have goals and I have a vision of where I would like to go, but I kind of stopped like attaching myself to certain things.
Right.
My goal is to continue fighting, is to be a champion, is to fight at the highest level and to be successful and be happy and fulfilled. So wherever that is, I don't really care. One championship would be amazing. I think it would be really cool to fight in Japan. They're also like starting to have shows in the US, so to be a part of that would be really, really cool. But I would also love if the UFC or PFL opened up a 105. It's
UFC's
hard.
been talking about it for years now. I think Dana White said something about it like 4 years ago, and then they were just like, eh.
It's hard because like in this sport, things can truly change overnight. I mean, like when PFL started, I mean, so many people like it changed their life. So, I mean, you never know. Like tomorrow, PFL could start a new weight class, or maybe they see my next fight and they want to build a division around me. Like that's the real goal.
That's definitely happened.
Yeah. No, I
mean, didn't they do that for like Kayla Harrison?
Kayla Harrison, Dakota Ditcheva, yeah, for sure. I mean, it happens. It happens. So, my goal is to be the best fighter I can possibly be, so I can have those amazing performances that these promotions, they have no choice but to open up new doors for me. That's the goal. I
think a side cool thing, if you went to 1FC, they do a lot of the like one-dimensional style fights, so you can do like a boxing match.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You could be like the boxing champion and MMA champion.
That would be cool. I definitely have dreams to. I don't know if I answered that question about the pro boxing, but that's still a goal of mine for sure. Like I would like to do both if possible. Why not?
It's definitely an option.
For sure.
I mean, if you build your name up in MMA, you can just jump right in, honestly.
No, for sure. I would love to compete in both.
I mean, look what's going on with John Jones and Tyson Fury right now.
Yeah.
They love that crossover.
Nah, it's cool. The opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
They really are.
It's such a great time in the sport. And I mean, even like with women's MMA, I mean, in the last decade alone.
I know.
Like, man, even the styles, like a lot of the women, like 5 to 10 years ago, they were like very one-dimensional.
For sure.
Now everyone knows everything.
I know.
Like, it's crazy.
It really is incredible. It is.
I mean, you guys are really outshowing the men in a lot of the stuff now. Like, just the technique and the, like, you're obviously super dedicated. I mean, you could tell you're a competitor. Like, you're talking about your defeats being devastating, but I think that's something that it's only because you care so much. I
think I was surprised. Like, when I started, I don't know if I was like delusional or.
I think you have to be.
But I mean, I honestly believe like I'm gonna go 4-0 with 4 knockouts, and I'm gonna go to the UFC. Like I saw nothing else. So when things didn't go that way, I was like, do I suck? Like, do I need to like quit? You know, like there was people who were telling me like, you know, maybe you should do something else or.
Damn, you got the haters that quickly?
For sure. I mean, and I think some people were trying to do it out of love, you know, but, you know, maybe you should just do it for fun. You know, maybe like kind of not take it so seriously. Yeah, I mean, that hurts, right? Hearing that hurts.
That's the worst too, because to tell you to do it for fun, you've only got so long in your like athletic prime.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go do something else and just maybe half enjoy this while you still know you got some juice.
I mean, I think like, if honestly, I sort of feel like I am sort of trying to accomplish the impossible. I mean, it's not impossible, but I started MMA at 25 years old, you know, and I want to be a world champion. That is kind of rare. You know, I'm going up against at least the girls that I train with, like
starting at like 13.
Most of them, no, not 13. I'm talking 5. Like most of these girls started jiu-jitsu when they were 5 years old.
Yeah, that's true. It is that time now.
And literally never worked a job. Like all they did was sleep, eat, breathe jiu-jitsu. They have, you know, parents who took them to jiu-jitsu every day and they competed.
Yeah.
So like that's the competition, honestly. Like that's what I'm up against. But I'm like, I can do it. Why not? If you
don't
know?
even gotta think about that.
And I don't. I don't, because I compete with these people on the mats every single day, and yeah, sometimes they kick my ass, but sometimes I get the upper hand too. And I'm only getting better, man. I'm only getting
like
better.
you said, you had no grappling at all, and you came to top team, which I would say we had some great strikers in the gym, but I'd almost say it's a wrestling and jiu-jitsu dominated gym as far as like the champions and stuff. So it's like you came there, and they didn't break you.
Yeah.
So it's like that's in itself.
I mean, not even that. Like, I don't even consider myself a boxer anymore. Like, I think my grappling is very high level.
Yeah.
I can wrestle. Like, my jiu-jitsu is good. I'm very, very hard to kill. I'm very hard to submit. Any of my training partners will tell you that. Like, I'm not a black belt, but I'm not
your last opponent was a wrestler, right? Like a national Mexican wrestler, and you were like, I don't care.
Yeah, nah. This is MMA.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I want to knock people out, but I want to be well-rounded and be able to finish people everywhere, you know?
Well,
so I've drilled enough about the MMA stuff. Did you want to ask the...
Yeah, actually.
Oh, that's your job.
So he has a mind for that. Like, he's really good at it.
I'm just super...
He hit you with 2 really good questions.
I love MMA, so...
I love it.
I love it too.
I'm getting hot. Like, I want to go, like... I'm ready to fight.
You didn't drink your tea?
That's yours.
Did you do that?
I know. Can we take an eating break?
No, she drank this.
Yeah, I was about to say, no one's, you know... I needed to see Ricky, like...
All right, I'm going to try it.
Go, take the whole half.
And I can't believe you didn't finish that yet.
I was gonna, but I was trying to be nice. Should I just chug it?
What, that? Or that?
What were we talking about? I thought you
I was talking about that.
Yeah, no, I'll chug this right now.
Oh, wow, this looks amazing.
I need to see Ricky doing some action over here, though. You're supposed to be eating and asking questions
All
while
you're
you
gonna
have
hear,
food in your mouth.
you're gonna have to lower the volume when he's just chewing so much. What is that, turkey?
I don't know, but
Yeah, it was like
fantastic.
turkey cheese.
You want half of this?
I want you to chug it. I'm gonna chug this, you chug that.
Did you guys try this? You didn't, because I bit off it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that didn't
I'll
stop
cut
us. That doesn't stop us.
You gotta try it, because this is one of my favorites on the menu.
It's episode 3. We can't just be biting on other people's bites yet. We're working towards that.
All right, let me cut my bite marks off.
I would have just went the other way, cut us a little piece off, because
Well, you guys can cut it yourself.
You've got to kill that.
This is definitely meant to be just picked up and...
Have you even tried this?
Not yet, no.
It's
man.
really good.
I've been talking so much.
Very, very good insight.
Let's go back on food then before he asks
Okay.
the emotional questions.
Emotional?
You're like ungodly athletic your whole life. You've been like super clean too on your diet and everything? All right, good. That's what I was hoping you'd say.
I didn't say nothing.
The facial expression said it all. But you got like a favorite cheat meal?
God.
Probably pizza and pasta. Or honestly anything at Modern
That's
Rose.
so basic.
But this isn't really cheating. Like, this is fresh.
No, this is something you'd eat in camp. But I'm like, you know, you're doing a long camp. You're keeping your weight down. There's something that you kill someone to eat.
I mean, when I'm in camp, I don't have cheat meals.
Right. But like after you're done.
Like the first thing I eat after I fight is probably like a pizza or pasta. Yeah. And then the next day I would come here for brunch and have my favorite coffee and probably everything you're looking at right now.
What's your walk on weight the majority of the time?
That is personal.
Because I imagine like when you cut down to 105.
Talk about eating. What's your weight?
I know, right?
It's not.
No, I would say like at the most is about 125. If I'm like, normally I'm training all the time, like I'm in camp. Right now I'm kind of dealing with a little injury, so I'm probably closer to 125.
Well,
but
we better cut that out before your championship fight.
Oh boy.
yeah, no biggie. I mean, 105. I mean, it's not easy, but it just takes this more discipline during camp, you know. I mean, 115 is not even a cut at all, you know. I could pretty much walk in on weight without cutting any water. So, yeah, I would say about 122, 125.
Oh my God, the question I was going to ask that was actually interesting, I just remembered because I forgot then, but you stood in for Dean Thomas.
Over there in Europe?
When Gillian fought. How was that?
Dude, what a crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
This is actually a great story because it shows how gangster Gillian is. I was just in South Africa for 6 weeks fighting in that tournament.
Oh, I was going to say, how did you end up in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, I was like already kind of nearby. And Gillian, that was my first time ever cornering a fighter in my life. Never quartered someone, not even for an amateur fight. So my first time cornering, and Gillian's like, hey, like, can you meet me in Prague, to corner me for my UFC fight? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, obviously. Dude, it was incredible. I mean, like, she didn't really need anything from me. Like, she really just needed a training partner, like someone to drill with, someone to warm up with, and just someone to feed her water, and like tell her to breathe. And that's all I did. Like, I was there for the warm up. We drilled and trained throughout the week. I don't even think I said a word in the corner. It was just like, you're doing a great job. Like, breathe.
Get up.
And she finished the girl, I think, in the second or third round, but...
There you go, being modest again.
No, she made my job, like, really easy. Yeah, right? No, but I love Gillian. Like, people tend to, like, not see those types of things about fighters because they don't really see the way they train or their mindset. But trust me, there's like levels to it, and she's one of the people that I definitely look up to because she's different for sure. Shout out to Gillian, savage. Hi.
Oh, it's me.
Do you want to come?
Why are you guys recording it? You guys are recording already.
This is Wifey. This is Jimena.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimena.
Hey.
It's so good to see you.
Hello, nice to meet you. Good to see you too. I'm all sweaty.
It's okay, so are we.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, shout out to Gillian. She has a big fight coming up too, against Tabitha Ricci.
Oh.
Baby Shark?
Yeah, Baby Shark.
I think in like 4 weeks.
That is a good one. It's like going to be jiu-jitsu on jiu-jitsu crime.
Pretty tough.
Nah, come on, Ricky. You're letting us all down, man. You got to stuff your face and then ask the question while you're stuffing your face.
Please try this, guys. It's one of my favorites on the menu.
All right, I'm going to start at that end, and you start biting at the other end.
It's literally
Right.
bruschetta. It's so fantastic. It's simple and, oh my God, I can't.
Hey,
This is my dad's
You gonna cut
favorite
it?
too. Shout out to my dad.
I'm still going in on this, so.
My dad is literally allergic to grape tomatoes and he still ate this.
Oh, that's the best, though.
And I was like, no, Dad. Like, my mom was like trying to take it away from him. Like, you can't eat that.
I don't care.
He was like, it's so good, I don't care. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that French cheese bruschetta is delicious.
It's delicious.
Everything here is like equally good.
Yeah, that French cheese, it has like so much flavor in it. It's just like, it's very like rich.
Damn, I'm over here looking like a rookie. Help me.
So Kayrock. You know when I put up on Instagram, ask Kayla Rocco any questions?
Uh-oh. What do the people want to know?
I had to do it twice because, well, the first time he got sick. And
It's all your fault.
It is.
the majority of the questions that I got
Are you single?
I'll save it till the end. But
I probably stuff in my teeth.
Don't worry, they asked that for Mo too.
Did they?
Someone
they
did.
did for Tiago.
Was it Tiago or Mo?
Tiago and Mo. Someone said, hey, let me get your number for Mo.
Okay, Mo.
Mo's like, so.
Yeah, Mo's like a simple man, huh?
He's beyond interesting. I had no
He
idea.
is super interesting.
All right, so how's the dating scene in Florida?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I really wouldn't. I don't really date.
No no dating apps, nothing.
No, definitely not dating apps. Good lord, that's true. You did tell me a good dating app story.
Me too.
Really, you
Yeah,
too?
100%. And she worked at the same place I did.
That's cool.
She rolled her.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, that really is cool. I just, to be honest, like, number one, and this isn't excuses. I'm so busy. Like, one day I'm interested in, like, oh, I wish I could, like, you know, do something, I don't know, whatever.
Romantic.
But then, like, the next day I'm like, if I look at the app, I literally, like, I download the app for, like, a day, and then I see all of the, like, what are they called? Matches, and it's, like, overwhelming.
Have you gotten messages?
Yeah.
Is it the majority eggplant message?
No.
Okay.
No, but, like, it's just too much. Like, I always feel like, I don't know, I want to meet someone organically, you know?
That's hard nowadays, though.
I know, especially since I don't do anything.
You're in South Florida. It's like
There's a bunch of fuckboys everywhere.
No, it is hard. I mean,
it's like number one hardest place to not meet someone on Tinder.
I met my wife on Craigslist.
is he serious?
I was gonna say no way.
Like,
Missed
wait,
connections.
Remember
We
that
were
girl?
at Home Depot together. Please reach out to me.
You were standing in front of me. I actually met her on like. I feel like right in the beginning where like the apps started coming out, it was. I think it was. Geez, Plenty of Fish.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's old.
Showing your age, dude.
Yeah, man,
That didn't even have an app. That was just a website.
Yeah, bro. Actually, it was. And
know
the thing
it
is, like,
was.
when it came to the pictures, like, and the profiles, like, you know, the guys messaged the girl.
I think there's like 50% hookers too.
It was just like girls. It's like, you know, God first. You know, only God. God could judge me, and it's just a picture of their ass or their tits.
Oh, that's worse.
And I'm like, of course. And then, you know, you swipe left, and it's like this girl with like 5 kids, and like, you know, I need a man to support me. And I'm like, oof, no. And then like my wife was like the only one that was like dressed, and it was like her sister running her account.
That's smart. I should get my sister to do that.
So when I met her,
I mean,
it
you're
was
getting
like,
to that level. You could use an assistant.
I know, right?
Filter out all the eggplants.
No, that's hard, man. I mean, like, I'm one of those people where I'm at the age and I'm at the point where, like, I don't want to just date for fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready, not necessarily ready, but, like, I want a husband, like, to settle down.
Do you want to repeat for the camera what you said off camera, so in case they're watching?
That I want a husband. I'm not looking to just,
the Hispanic.
No, I can't say that.
Yeah.
No, I don't
we're gonna edit
discriminate.
that out. Yeah, see, look at you, man. I meant
I like all types.
I meant like the fighter part,
Oh.
all non-fighters.
So non-fighters.
I mean, I don't
want to
see,
rule
that's
it out.
also a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like, honestly, it's kind of hard being a female fighter. Like, if you're not dating a fighter or a coach, it's just
that must be tough.
That's really the thing, though. A lot of these coaches end up marrying their students and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Like, how'd that happen?
kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Didn't she start when she was 15?